This is the Debbie Perkins Radio Show. And here's your host, Debbie Perkins.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hollywood Red Carpet Radio Show. I'm Debbie Perkins, and I'm your host, and I have an actress, a writer. She's been a producer. She's also a radio host on The Perfect Zone as a co-host. Welcome to the show, Janet Lopez.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's so amazing. Wow. Janet, just doing your IMBD, I was writing. And it's clear that you're very serious about what you do. Very serious.
Yes.
And that's
yes,
awesome.
I am.
So if everybody wants to look, please look at Janet's IMBD. Not only does it help her star meter, but it actually helps you to understand some of the wonderful films that she's been in. You also have awesome little clips on there from a couple of the movies that you've been in, and they're very interesting. I did watch, and there are a lot of great movies that you got involved with. But how did you decide when you were younger, or was this something that you took up after high school? How did it come about that you decided to go into filming?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I actually never really thought about working in film. I just thought it was so far-fetched. But really, what happened was I started with, so I used to try just practicing boxing. So I would go to this boxing event. This is a story I haven't really told much, but yeah, so I used to go to a boxing event, and one thing led to another. I ended up being the ring girl. And so I got a little bit interested in modeling, and I was chosen. By the way, when you're under 18, no one cares how tall you are. You know what I mean? That's not a factor. I am short, but at that time doing fashion shows, it doesn't really matter, when you're like a minor and you're doing younger stuff. And so what happened was I was doing it was a call, on the radio when they're like, hey, we're looking for models, and all these people show up at the mall and they test you out. So I went there and I got this gig, and I met this owner. She was the owner of a magazine company, and I was just her model. And that's actually how I met her at first. And she started adding a division for acting. And anyways, I guess I ended up working with her, and that led me to where I'm at today. But, a lot of people ask me, was this something you dream of? Was this something you wanted? Not really. I was the opposite. Growing up, I was very shy. I was a tomboy.
Oh, really?
Like a real
that's amazing.
Tomboy.
Considering the parts that you end up being a part of, you have to come out of your shell a lot to be those different parts.
Yes. And I think it helped. My experience growing up really helped because I literally transitioned into being a tomboy into all of a sudden wearing dresses because that's what they make you wear. And you just start wearing them. And you start learning how to walk in heels because they would give me classes. And so I had no idea how to do any of that. I was a true tomboy. So
wow. That's
right.
a difference from no, are you interested in sports? Did you do any sports in school, or?
I played soccer, basketball, baseball, or not. It was more like softball. And, so I've done those kind of sports, and I used to do taekwondo, martial arts, and stuff like that.
Oh, you did? Well, that's awesome. That's actually really good because so many movies right now, if you didn't notice, that are based around martial arts. Really?
Yes, and there's some. I would love to get a fighting scene. I think that's coming pretty soon.
John Azuna. We'll have to get you set up with him. He's an actor like you, and he also is a martial arts expert and uses it in a lot of movies. So, but I think that would serve you in some superhero type or where you may have to fight for some reason in a movie. I think that's awesome because it's almost like you already have training.
Yes, I one thing, I've done the Taekwondo in person, and I've got cast recently in a movie called Defunct Superheroes. It's in pre-production, and I play Gabby in that movie. And so pretty soon, hopefully, I will start getting some martial arts on screen. And the most I did, I have had some action on screen, but it's not really like martial arts. It's more like using a bat or a knife or something like that. More like street fighting.
Really good too, because I mean, you when people think about being in a movie, they don't actually think that they're gonna have to defend themselves in the movie, or I mean, yeah, you read the script and you go, oh, it's a fight scene. Okay, so what do? I die? All right, how do I die? It's all this stuff has to come out of you and what you're using for weapons and how you're going to angle things.
Oh, yes. And what's really cool is there's so many different ways a fight scenes can go. Sometimes we cheat the camera and it looks like we hit the person, and the person really has to react like they just got hit. But I did work with a filmmaker, although I was not in a fight scene, and she wanted people to truly, like actually hit her and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, but in a way where you're almost, you know what I mean? It's not really like you're actually tapping and you're actually hitting the person, just not using your full, force.
So you're explaining yourself when you get to her. So, like, it might take a punch, but you retract before it lands.
Yeah. You're like,
You just got to be careful with that, because the one time somebody doesn't let go and it just flies, she's going to end up with a black eye or something.
Oh, yeah. Or if you get a little heated, it can get a little heated. Yeah. You might get a little upset.
That is so funny. Now, you've done a lot of movies, and not only have you acted in a lot of movies, but you've also produced, and you've written, which I find to be exceptionally interesting, because you did, I don't know if these are out or not, but these are things that you've written so that everybody knows. You did Ryan's Life.
Yeah, so let me tell you about that part. So what happens is, I'm primarily a producer and an actor. And what happens, sometimes I work with writers. And in Ryan's Life, it was more of me really just, sometimes somebody gives you a script and you're like, you totally love it. And then sometimes I ad lib and they're like, we discussed this before we film. And they're like, you know what, Janet? I want you to put your input on this one, and then we'll work together as a team. Usually you don't do that with writers. As an actor, you really don't want to do that. You just get the script. You kind of talk about ad-libbing. If they want it, they want it. But I have worked with writers a lot where I edit their script. I add their script. You know what I mean? I change. I give them advice, and we work together on the script, and so forth, like that. And so that's why you see like writing. So yeah, I have that one was me working with them as an actor, but they wanted my input, and it was really nice. The fact that they even gave me the credit as a writer was kind of nice. I did that to work with them, you know how it is when you're an actor, you're doing character like development and you're going through it. Yeah, you kind of like, you want to know certain your background and this and that and what personality as you're building your character up. And the director writer was very sweet to work with me. Actually, he wanted to work with me and said, hey, give me your input. Let's talk together. We both had this whole discussion. And we worked on the script, so that was nice. But in other times, I do write some, and most of the time work with the writer themselves. So I have writers that send me several scripts, and it's always nice to do that for them.
Well, for anybody who should check out her IMDb. She has over 40 movies, and on these movies, there's so many different types of characters that you play. I was reading and I was going like, wow, it's almost like you have to constantly change the character that you are for each independent movie. They're so
You're right.
different.
You're
They're
so
so different. What is your favorite one so far? Or what has been, of all these movies, what was your very favorite character that you related the most to?
You know what? I almost feel like, so I have a favorite character, but I cannot say that I relate to her at all because I'm not her at all. I'm
Okay.
quite the opposite of her. But
All right, we'll take it.
okay, I'll tell you. So this is what I love about acting, and I always tell people I love acting because I like to see smiles. I like entertaining people and having them laugh, smile, cry, and everything, but mostly laugh. And I really love wild, dramatic characters that are just like that are just crazy, like the most. Yet I do relate to her in some sense, and that was Estella. She was a character I played where I play. She was, she got pregnant. Actually, sorry, I have so many roles, so I apologize. Okay, let me go back. So she had a boyfriend for a very long time, and her boyfriend cheated on her with another woman and got that girl pregnant. And so she was like really pissed off. And technically the character I was playing was the antagonist, but because my boyfriend cheated on me with another woman, got her pregnant. And so that pissed me off. I think it would piss off anybody. But the difference is that she was very revengeful to the max. I mean, she goes a little overboard on her revenge.
She goes crazy with it.
She goes insane, and I think that's what
it's such a relatable story, though.
Oh yeah. She was one of my favorites. Most recently, I like for some reason I like playing a detective. That's been something that's been consistent, sort of. Where I play a detective. I'm playing a detective right now on this series called Run This Town, and it's going to come out on is it pronounced Tubi, right? Tubi? It's going to be on Tubi, and I play a detective. I don't know, I played detective before. I just like that character, like being a detective, and I'm playing
challenging for you. Like, is it like a murder detective, or is it?
I don't think it's
mysteries.
I don't think it's as challenging as being an antagonist, like the main antagonist, because I prefer that. But it's just the idea, like what you said, like a mystery, like solving a mystery is what intrigues me about it. Because you're trying to get the evidence, and you're trying to.
Yeah.
I
like that because I wish they'd make Agatha Christie again.
Oh.
Like a woman that was a writer and she was doing the stories, and then
right, yeah,
the murders, and then finding the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. They don't do that anymore. I wish they would. Those were always great. But you've got some really awesome films here, and I think we should talk about some of the ones that you you've worked on that either kind of set a presence with you, the character you really, enjoyed working, or the people that you worked with.
Yeah, I almost feel like a lot of these times when you work on a film, especially when you're you're seeing them every day, you're not only seeing the characters, like the people you're working with as the actors, but you're also seeing the crew members, the director, just everybody. And I almost feel like a lot of people don't realize it, but for me, sometimes they become like family, because it's nonstop. Like every day you're seeing them, and it depends, right? Because sometimes you get like a role where it's like 5 days, but still, if it's nonstop, you're seeing them like every day. But if it's 15, I've worked on 15 days straight where I'm just seeing them every day. And that literally feels like a family. And you do grow affectionate towards them. You do end up liking, you either hate them or you love them, or usually I love them.
Yeah, you're going to a job, you're bonding with different actors, you're doing scenes with people, and you have to trust them to make it just as believable as you are.
Right.
So it is a bonding experience.
Right. I think for me, I did get one project that I work on is called Bloody Maria, and you guys can see it online. It's on BTV network, but you can just look up Bloody Maria and series. But that one was kind of cool. That one was very different from anything I worked on because it was just mostly women. There was like 12 girls on that.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah, which is really rare. Like imagine
I don't think I've ever even seen a movie with only females.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of girls, and the director was a woman as well.
Wow.
Iris, and she did an amazing job just getting everybody together. But there was 12 girls in this series, and it was nonstop. And I think that was just like wild. And I'm thinking like, oh wow, oh my goodness, how we're gonna do this? But it was the writers did such a great job. It was a collective, more than one writer, but they all did a great job because every girl had their own personality and their own little like unique characteristic to them. You know what I mean? Like for example, I love eating candy in a certain way, and there was two of us, and the other one likes laughing a lot. You know what I mean? Like they all had like their own thing to separate us from each other, and so they did a great job doing that, developing each character.
I think that's awesome. She used the actual person's niche, or
you know what? That's a great question. So when I went to the audition, okay, so this is crazy. I went to the audition and she was like, "Wow, you could play all these characters." Like she almost was saying like, I don't know, you could play all these characters. And so she was trying to figure out which character I was going to play. I mean, you got to think about it. There's 12 girls in this series. And she was like, you're going to be the main character. And what I think I was going to be the antagonist, or the protagonist. And so she goes, you're going to be the protagonist and you're going to be the sweet girl. She's like a baby face, very sweet but deli. And so we did that. But then when she got to know me, once she actually got to
you get to play the bad girl?
No, once she got to know me, I was just joking all the time with her, like just throwing jokes left and right. We all started laughing. We're all laughing. And I say idiotic things and stuff just to make people laugh. And everybody's laughing. And I'm not purposely trying to make people laugh. When you get to really know me, you'll get to know my personality the way it is. And I just like, so people are laughing. And so then all of a sudden the director looked at me and she goes, "You know what, Gianna, you're a joker." And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. She found your power, your special power.
Yes. And so I became Joker at that point forward. And she goes,
"That is hilarious."
Yeah. And I was no longer baby face, because I have a baby face. I have a little innocent face, but she just thought I was really funny. She goes, "You're more of a Joker." So
she's got that right. You do. You have a good bedside manner. So if anybody's listening, they're going to tell. You do. You have a great personality. And I think that's probably a really awesome thing to have you getting indoors, because they see your personality for what you really are. And then, when you're going out for a script or whatever, it's kind of, you're cute. You've got it all. So, for anybody who can't see her, please check her out. Because Janet Lopez, she's got you do have some beautiful pictures on your IMDb. So,
thank you. Yeah, you can Google my name. It's just Janet Lopez on google.com and I'll come up. My IMDb will come up. My Instagram is JaylaXOXO, and it's JaylaXOXO. I actually use that because Well, I'm Janet Lopez, and instead of
Yeah.
saying J-Lo, I wanted to just go with something different.
Well, and that's the thing is, it's kind of a catch-22 for you because you say your name too fast, someone's going to go, who? But
Right.
that's not a bad thing because then they go, who? And then you say your real name and then they go, oh, and now you are interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But
her
it's
name was
definitely,
not, her name was Jennifer. So, I mean, you know what I mean? She just got the J as an initial.
yeah.
But you could do the same thing. But
Right.
but
And you know what?
it don't matter. You got your own thing going.
Right. You know what? I started as Janet Lopez, and later on, I was like, I should have changed it. But you can't. Like, once you start your credits,
Yeah.
you just
We're
got
there.
whatever you have. Yeah.
How did you get to be part of the Perfect Zone?
Yeah, that was, so you know what? I actually met, so what happened was, I went to an Easy Way network event where my friend of mine was gonna co-host. I'm sorry, she was hosting like the red carpet, or she was gonna be doing hosting. And what happened was, I ended up helping out, and I started interviewing people
Wow.
as a host to help her out. So we both were doing that. So we were interviewing people at this event. And I met all these people. And one of the people that was there was actually was Will. And I met Will there. And when I met him, he met me, and that was it. And after that, I was interviewing for the Easy Way Network at different red carpet events and so forth. And I would interview him at red carpet events. So he would see me interviewing. At that later on, he calls me and he's like, and what happened was, this is what God does sometimes. This is crazy, but he called me to ask me to be his co-host on the podcast. And when I missed that call, I was working. I totally missed the call. So then he called two other people. And I think the second person he called, she said yes. And then something happened. Then he called the third person, and then something happened. And then he went back to me again. And when he came back to me, he's like, hey, do you want to call us? I'm like, yes. So it was always, I was the first person he wanted to call.
You would have been meant to be. It's just the timing.
Right. So, yeah. So we were able to get together, come up with some ideas. And, so we worked together on this show. And we call it the Perfect Zone because, well, it's so that it's a place where you can just talk, be yourself, and just feel in the zone, and whatever you consider your perfect zone, where you could just talk about anything you want. And we we came up with two different segments. One is the love segment, and then the one that I did do once was a new segment that we tried out. It's called the movie segment, and that's where I go on and talk about like the behind the scenes stuff, what happens with production, producers, a lot of people don't know a lot about the industry and how it really is to work in the industry. And sometimes I talk about movies and just different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Janet, we're going to take a really quick break. Everybody, please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Pat Benatar. I'm a musician and a mom, so you probably won't be surprised to hear that I think it's important for kids to get a chance to learn music in school. Why music? Well, music education provides students with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in school and in life. Learning to sing or play an instrument helps a child develop creativity, critical thinking, math, literacy, and teamwork skills. Schools that have strong music programs report higher graduation rates than those that don't. Learning music is even associated with higher education and income levels later in life. For today's students to succeed tomorrow, they need a comprehensive education that includes music taught by exemplary music educators. Make sure your kids have the opportunity to experience the benefits of learning music. Support your local school music programs.
Lopez, good night.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And I am here with Janet Lopez. She is an actress, a writer, a producer, and she's also a co-host on The Perfect Zone. Welcome back to the show, Janet.
Thank you so much. I have so many titles. I mean, we can go for longer
You
too.
really do.
Like, what?
I on. But you have so many wonderful things that you've been involved with. Now, in some of the movies that you've been in, have you ever done a period piece?
You know what? That's a really good question. Sometimes when you do a movie, you completely forget. Like, sometimes you just move, you go on. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. I'm thinking Mysterious of the Plane.
If you could, what area would you do? Medieval? Would you do like 1200? Would you do like a Viking type thing? Would you do some early Americans? Well, if you could do an act and do that in costume, would you like Outlander, that type of thing where it's time based?
I would say either medieval era or like ancient Egypt. I don't know why. I would love to play an ancient Egyptian.
No, Egyptian's great. That would be beautiful.
Right. One of my
I can see you playing Cleopatra.
Yes, they are just so amazing. I would love to just play.
I think that would be awesome. And I don't think there's any new. They're all old Cleopatra films.
Yeah.
So they need to make a new version of that.
Right. Yeah, you're so right. There's just so many things that happen in Egypt, though. It's so many different dynasties and so many. I mean, you can make so many different stories off of Egypt, and I would just love to be a part of any one of those stories.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, just because their history is just pretty intense. So yeah, that would definitely be one of my faves, or one of my ideal things to do. That'd be really fun.
So if somebody abroad wanted to hire you to be in a movie and the money and everything was legit and everything was good, would you travel?
Yes.
To do a film? Okay.
Yes.
And that's all good stuff to know.
Yes.
No,
I think, I don't know, I'm trying to think, did I ever work abroad? I mean, I worked in Mexico. I don't know if that counts, but Canada, Mexico,
yeah,
most of the U.S. Yeah.
It all matters. It really does. Because it shows that you're serious and that you take your filming career as a real job and you believe in what you do, so you will travel
100%.
where the good stuff is.
Right. I think it was right before, I don't know if it was last month or 2 months ago, I was going to go to UK actually to work, to go up there and work on an event. And what happened was I had a job here and I got that offer and I was thinking, I really want to go, but then I couldn't because of the schedule conflict with the job that I had. I had to work on set here. And so I wasn't able to go, but yeah, if the opportunity presents itself and they're all ready to go, hey, I'm on board. Let's go.
And that's perfect. That is perfect. Now, if you could play a superhero, who would she be? And you can be a villain or you can be a hero. You pick. Which actor would you play if you could?
That's a really good one.
Yeah, DC, Marvel. I personally could see you, let me think, Catwoman. I think you'd make a great Catwoman.
Oh, I was thinking cat. Yeah, I was thinking that, or even
would be really good for you. Ivy, I think you'd make a great Ivy.
Ooh, I love to play Ivy. Yes.
Ivy is mysterious and she's dangerous.
Yes. I kind of have this thing where, so I love playing a protagonist, like an innocent girl, but then there's a side of me that when I play a character, I want to have this wow factor where whoa, I didn't expect that from that girl. You know what I mean? Like a flip of a switch all of a sudden. So
See, and that leads me to another question. What about playing a psychopath slash junkie slash
yes,
murderer or serial killer?
yeah. I think about what's her name, and like, wait, this is all in my head. I was like, so they're like, she didn't say anybody. No, yeah, this is what I do sometimes. No, yeah, I would love to play like a. I know this is crazy, like a psycho, but like a psycho superhero. If there's, you know what I mean, or like, this is why I like
female version. Yes, because they have male versions of the evangelists, like people that want to save the world, but yet like Dexter.
yeah.
He looks like your average guy that you would see in the grocery line.
Yes.
But yet
I almost think of like Harley Quinn, but like as a superhero, you know what I mean, versus evil. Like there's got to be, like, she's two-sided. I mean, now I'm not talking about her character, but someone like that, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to play something like that where you're kind of like, wow, she's crazy, but at the same time you're rooting for her.
Yeah. She has the best costume too.
Yes.
She really does.
Right?
She got a baseball bat.
I know. I just love a baseball bat. That was one of my weapons in a movie, and I like using that.
Oh, was it a real one?
No, I wish. No, just kidding. No, that would be terrible. That would be like, we need an ambulance. No. Like, Jenna went too crazy on this one. No, there's, no, we wrap it, it's wrapped with, soft material and stuff like that. So it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like foam. It has foam. Usually foam all wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever died, Janet, in the movie? Have you been killed yet?
Oh my God. Well, I filmed a movie called, I filmed 2 movies, 3 movies recently, but one of the 3, I died. So you're going to have to watch them. But I just filmed, Apex Predator 2. And yes, I've died in the movie before. I got cut in half.
It's kind of fun though.
Yes. Oh, I love it when it's really dramatic, I don't know. I'm weird. But like, I just like the special effects, the fake blood and stuff. That's kind of cool.
It's neat when you're doing a scene and then you see it on the screen, and then it's got the background sound, the scary leading up to the events that are going to happen, but you remember being in that solitary room doing the scene without all that extra stuff.
Yes. One of the I think it would be really cool to be in a movie with dinosaurs, and then I just get and then they eat me or something. I think that's what I mean by cool deaths, like if I was going to die, it's got to be from a dinosaur or something.
That's so funny. Yeah, you would die very bad with a dinosaur.
You'd be shooting me. I would say, I think would be cool, to see a leg popping out and then my torso on the other side or something. I don't know. Just be but
some great special effects for that and a lot of blood.
And I told you I tend to be comedic. But, I love comedy movies, and so I would be hanging from a dinosaur and going and being I must taste really good.
You hanging from? Okay,
dying.
Now, please, cut. That's hilarious. Now, are you your own worst critic when you watch yourself on the screen? Do you look at yourself and go, "Oh, wow, why did you do it that way?" And
so a lot of times I don't watch it, 100%. Like, so what happens, sometimes somebody will call me and they'll be like, hey, I saw you on TV. And I go, and the thing I ask them, first thing I ask is like, what did you think? And if they say, oh, you were funny or you were great. Then I go, oh, okay, then I'll watch it. Then I go and watch it. But it's really good to see yourself, like you said, even if you're like judgmental or critical about, or whatever, you're criticizing yourself. The reason why, it's because you can learn from that. You know what I mean? Like, if there's any, because you're going to be more picky about your own material than anybody else. And so you watching it, you looking at it and kind of taking mental notes about it. So that next, oh, I should not do that next time or whatever, even if it's something subtle.
Now, what are some what are some characters that you have never played that have always been an interest to you? What type of character? From, blue collar to white collar, or, like Wall Street, or right down to secretary / female big boss.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I would have to go with, something like that, like Viola Davis, or like a lawyer, or somebody that I definitely like a badass girl, a woman that's like the boss, or I am having all these ideas in my head. I was like,
it'd be awesome.
Oh, and you know what? The other thing I would like to play. Okay, I always wanted to play a vampire, like a lead vampire.
I can see that.
I just want to play a vampire. Come on, you guys, give me that vampire role.
Like, you know what? And there's more vampire movies that are still being made. There's always an interest in that. Anyway, I mean, just blood.
Yeah.
Anything to do with just blood and murder, there's always movies being made.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's two things. That definitely want to be a demon slayer type of woman, hunter, like a hunter, or a vampire, or 3, just a boss.
A huntress?
A hunter, a huntress, somebody who hunts down, like, whatever, beast. Like, demon.
Actually, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I just want to hunt them down, like, kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but they're not vampires,
Wow.
So I definitely want to hunt them down.
On your grand ideas, because you actually have a lot of great ideas.
Yes. Hey, hint, hint, producer. Yes. I would love to. I guess it's something physical, right? So either action or something funny. And I love drama. I think a lot of drama roles, like drama and suspense. But I like roles that kind of challenge me a little bit. So that's why
Would you ever do soap opera?
You know what I used to? So when I was younger, I would go visit family members from out of the country, and they would watch that all day. That's all they would watch. And so I would start looking at it, and I thought it was funny because it's very dramatic. It's very slow. Like, the reaction, the acting is different. You know what I mean? It's like when you watch Disney shows, they act different too. They're a little bit more quirkier, a little bit more fake. And them too, they're very slow and dramatic and very emotional, and it's like everything is dramatic, everything's slow motion. I would love to be in a soap opera because I like the drama and all the twists. Like, there's so many twists and turns, and so and so sleeping with this person and that person is sleeping with that person. That so happens to be my dad. You know what I mean? Like, all this drama, and it's like, so then I'm, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so crazy. And I would love to be in one of those. Like, actually auditioned for a series regular for Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
I auditioned for that, and I was the top 5.
Wow.
And I was thinking, oh, I almost got it. And it was a series regular.
So then when you just throw it in there, and even if it's a short time, at least it's a great lesson. I mean, I know you learn every time you do a film, behind the scenes things, what people do. And now, is that how you ended up becoming a producer? Or how did you end up finding yourself taking that road?
Yeah, so that's a whole other story. So I love acting. That's my primary passion. That's where I'm at. But a friend of mine, she was directing and she was working on stuff, and she needed help. And we just met as friends, and we just met. We were talking, having coffee together. And next thing you know, she's telling me all these problems she's having. And I was like, oh, I can help you with that. And she was just like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know how to do that. I can help you. And she was just looking at me like, oh, really? You can help me? I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. So I hooked her up. I worked with her a little bit and helped her out. And then after that, she referred me to a director and a writer and who were looking for somebody to hire. And so they hired me on. And so there I got hired. And I started working with them. And one thing led to another. I got word of mouth and got hired to another film set. And next thing you know, I was like the production manager, the UPM. So I was managing all the crew members in all the different departments. And from there, I became a producer, and and then it goes on from there.
Wow.
It really
amazing. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. You're putting in the sweat and the effort, and you're there every day. And, I work in pre-production, so I help in pre-production. It depends on the situation. Sometimes I help with pre-production, and then I'm just an actor during filming, but I'm getting paid during pre-production, or I'm getting paid as a or I'll be on set managing, and then so it just depends on every set is different. When you do a good job, and they see you doing a good job as an actor or a good job as a producer or whatever you're doing, they're gonna remember you. And you get that word of mouth, They're going to remember, like, oh, Janet, she's really good at working with us, and we should get her on this other stuff. And so it kind of just works like that. I get referred. Somebody on set, it's funny because I was at one point, I was the production manager in this one set. And we had hired a gaffer. He's really good, by the way. And he was there, and he looked at me, and he was watching he was like seeing how I was working. I was managing them. And he's the one he looked at me, he goes, hey, I want you to work with me on this project as a first AD. But I was a production manager, and he hired me as a first AD. So I started working with him on several projects, and that's kind of how it works. They see you, and they're like, oh, hey, I kind of like I like her. How much does she, like, can I get you guys too? And for us, it's like, they hire you together or separate, and it kind of just works that way. And that's why I tell people, you never know, like, who you're working with. You got to be nice. You can't be a diva as an actor. And you got to be nice as a crew member as well, because you don't know who's going to be in charge of hiring you, or who's going to be who that person is, or you don't know if they're going to be, something later on. And everybody talks. The industry's, we all kind of talk, and we do ask for referrals too.
And you don't want your scene to be on the editor's floor.
No.
That's where it can go.
That's a good one. And hey, somebody said there was these actors, sometimes you'll see like online actors forums or wherever we're posting online or on Instagram or wherever. And this actor would be like, oh, I can't believe it. I got cut out. And now, that does happen, even if you're a good girl or a good guy, even if you're a great, amazing person. Sometimes that just happens. But yeah, you could get on the cutting board if you're not nice. And we were like, and I remember people commenting, they're like, hey, you're not an actor if you haven't had at least one job where you don't make it in the editing, like, because that does happen, sometimes. Even if even if you have like a vision board at the end of the day, whoever the editor is, if they're going to try to make sense of the story or whatever they shot, and sometimes your scene gets cut off. It happens. And, you move on to the next one. So, but yeah, it's the actor's life, I guess. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, everybody who's listening.
I'm back.
Oh, there she is.
I
I
was
was like,
I never
she
left.
disappeared on me. She became a ghost. What happened?
No, I coughed and I didn't want that to be on the show, so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
guys, I've got a bit of a cold today. But anyway, wow. So, now, what are some things that we didn't cover that I think that the audience should know about?
I guess, like, just so you know, I am always looking for. Oh, I do have. This is just to throw it out there, but I'm working on 2 different groups as to collaborate with actors. There's a group I'm working on, and it's just a bunch of actors, and so we help each other out. Like if you need a reader, or if you want to just. I'm constantly hiring actors too, paid or just for fun. And then the other group I have is actually my team, and this is a very selected group. And with that group, we want people who are dedicated, and so people who want to practice their craft, whether it's editing. We're looking for crew members, writers, whoever wants to collaborate and maybe get some IMDb credits and work on, like I said, their craft. If you're interested, hit me up. We could talk about it, see if we're a fit or not. Same with the actors if you want to join the other side. But, we're looking for people who are willing to help each other out for the actors one. So, if you're interested, let me know. And I guess lastly is that, I think we're about to finish, is that I am producing a script right now, a horror film. So if there's anybody interested, executive producers, anybody listening, if you're interested in helping out financially or just coming on board, however you want to come on board. But, I am in the early stages of development. So it's a script, and then we have a pitch deck and so forth. So if you're interested in that, let me know as well. And
so anybody who wants to invest, please contact Janet, because it does sound like that you know what you're doing, Janet, and I'm so happy that you are so professional.
Thank you. And then last but not least, I do have some cool for other people who are interested in like comic books and stuff like that, and movies like similar to DC and Dark Horse and whatnot. Hit me up too, because I might be able to hook you with something. But I'll leave it at that. And if you guys hit me up, I'm working with different people. Oh yes, another thing. Oh yes, I just recently became a producer for and an actor talent. I'm part of their board as well for OVA, and so I'll talk more about that. This just happened, and I'm developing most likely a reality TV show with them. So as I can't really say what it is yet because we're doing the treatment and all that. Once it gets to green light, I'll let you guys know.
Having a lot of fun though.
Yes. A lot going on. And it's always fun. Have all these. I'm always looking for something, and I just love working with people and good people and helping each other out. And so that's kind of what I do.
Are you still located in California?
I am right now in California. Yes.
Okay. Well, that helps. When people want to hire you, they want to get you from the area.
Oh, right. But again, I've worked in Seattle, Washington, and Texas, and Florida, and New York. So I'm not.
You've been everywhere. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've been everywhere. That's awesome.
Yes. I'm being considered for a project in Atlanta. So, I'm not limited to California, but that's where I'm at though. So it's good to know if you want to hire like a local somebody who lives locally. Yeah, California would be it. Woo, California.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I have this little bit of a cold here. But anyways, wow, this is so great. You've done such a wonderful job. I guess, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, you can hit me up on Oh, I think Facebook. I'm going to give you two different ones because I'm not sure which one it is, but here it goes. After it's, oh, I think I was like, hold on. Okay, there she goes. It's okay, don't worry. So it's Janet Lopez. Oh, sorry, actor Janet Lopez or actress Janet Lopez, and that's on Facebook. And then once again, my Instagram is JAYLAAXOXO. And so that's JLXOXO. Hugs and kisses, everybody. So, hey. Everyone's like, no, don't give me a kiss. Don't give me a hug right now. 6 feet apart. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, hit me up. I would love to hear from you guys. And, you know, just anybody who's listening who wants to, like, just keep in touch. And, you know.
Janet, what about the Perfect Zone? What night are you guys on?
Oh, right. So on tomorrow, we're every week. It's on Thursdays. And we're going to have, aren't you coming too? Like, just to like let everybody know.
Yes, I will be.
Yeah. So we're going to have you on there as well. But yeah, so check it out. It's the Perfect Zone. And it's every, Thursday.
Wonderful.
So, and it's always, yeah.
Yeah, we ran out of time. But
yeah, oh my
thank you, everybody. And thank you, Janet. That was so much fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. And I'll just keep in touch and I'll let you guys know what's the next projects. And there's a lot of things in the works. And yeah, so I'm excited. Hey, I do red carpet host as well, but I'm primarily an actor. But shout out to everybody and thank you. Shout out to Eric Zuli, to Will Perfect, and everybody else. Love you all. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Janet. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week. That was a lot of fun.